here they are. So, Jean, what do you think of the matchup specifically? What can the branded deck offer in terms of, advantages?
Well, there are some advantages. Of course, the Finsmith Ryzeal deck is really strong, but we talked about the bestial cards, and of course, when you play branded, you have a lot of bestials in your deck, so you are able to literally interrupt every single part of the Finsmith engine. The problem is that, of course, Ryzeal is a bit stronger, but you have a strong engine, so you might be able to break the field even going second, especially if you have some cards that are really strong into the field. So I think it's gonna be difficult, of course, but the good thing for Vasilis is that he won the dice wall, which is really important in that matchup.
Absolutely, but breaking news, there is no sort of Sanctifier, lock card. So Vasilis is just going for the pure grind branded strategies. Is that surprising at all?
I think this is really enjoyable. This is really enjoyable because we'll have some grind games and some interactions, which is why we love Yu-Gi-Oh! I think that Vasilis is just relying on the fact that his deck has a really strong engine and is able to just go through grind game with his opponent and then rely on the fact that he can be better than the guy who is in front of him.
Absolutely.
But here we started with the Quem, and unfortunately for Vasilis, it's not gonna go through because Roy had infinite impermanence on this, and we just see right now a great card, Nerdier Servant, which allows you to do so much in this deck.
I also feel like if you're playing this deck, how confident do you feel like with all the hand traps that are being played during the current format, right?
Not really confident. Not really confident because you've got a lot of cards. Of course, you've got Ash Blossom, but you also have the new Dominus cards, which are really great against the deck. So you're not in a really good position. And apart from that, you also have the Mulch Armies, which are some great cards. So if you just state the facts, you're not in a really good spot.
Especially because I'm seeing that both in the main deck and side deck there's no cross-talk designator as well. So which means that you just go all in and hopefully you can navigate through your opponent's interactions, right? So
and it went well because
he's going very well actually. So we will soon find out if this will be the case also with Roy. And how do you feel like in general is maybe the plan against your opponent? Like, of course, Vladis doesn't know that his opponent is on Ryzeal yet, but how do you feel like with the current meta? You think you have a specific goal going first?
I think you just want to put as much interruptions as possible, and the good point with Branded is that you have a non-target banishment, which is of course really strong in the meta game, especially against, for example, Ryzeal, because you can get rid of all the threats that he can put on the field. And we also saw that with a deck that we see a lot, Malice. They also have a non-target banishment, which is very strong. And the fact that Branded can just recycle every single non-target banishment with the Mirror Jade is really, really strong. So I think the goal here is just to banish 2 or 3 times the monsters that Rory will put on the field.
I have a doubt, though. We are seeing this Fuvalos used on the deployment. Do you guys think maybe it was better to just keep it and use it in the draw phase? Because I think we are going to see at least 2 different ways to special summon from the extra deck from Vasilis, so during his opponent turn. So maybe that could be a bit of a consideration.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if there's... because like here you're forcing your opponent to like push, but if you really want to activate the Fuvalos, I think you just preemptively activate it before. So...
Yeah, especially considering the fact that Branded, is really known to play some cards like Triple Tactic Trust or Talent, and indeed he's playing those cards, of course.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it might be hard if Vasilis has those cards in hand.
For sure, but now it seems like we're moving to the end phase, and if we have some effects to use. So many, but
the Magnum as well.
That's a great
one.
Yeah.
This is great because basically you had the Impermanence, the Fuvalos, and the Magnum. This is something that we were mentioning before. Alongside the hand traps, there are also the Bestials that are something to be considered. And I think most of our players so far at least have, let's say, a minimum of 3. and then they can also go up to 7, 8, depending on how they feel like. And in this specific matchup, I think Bestials are insane.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
totally. And there is the
double.
second one.
Wow. What?
The
What a
Baldrake
opener.
is there as well.
Wow.
He's getting rid of all the cards that can activate in the graveyard, because Branded is obviously known to have a lot of cards that just activate in the end phase.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. The opener was really strong from Vasilis, but just the perfect answers from Roy. Almost as if Vasilis just passed and bricked, this could have been more beneficial probably, because Roy was holding just all of these interruptions. And even the third Bestial, yeah.
Yeah, those cards were absolutely amazing. It's going great for Roy, and he's gonna have his draw phase. We're gonna see if he has what it takes to break the field, which is not really impressive right now.
No,
Yeah.
definitely.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of forced just to pass for the Fuvalos being activated, but I think the Bestials here hurt a lot. Because, like, if Roy now has a Ryzeal monster, I can really see it being on the driving set. So let's find out, because, like, with 4 cans in hand, honestly, I think this is looking super promising for him. And
I think I saw
Lacrima.
Ryzeal cards.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think.
and also the Lacrima to start things off. It's very good.
He has everything.
Yeah, what a end. What a end indeed. And I mean, we already know the Druid for me is there, so it's gonna be really tough for Vasilis to even fight back, because as you would expect from a branded deck, he's really, really low on the end traps. So
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of entraps, of course, and he has now to rely on his own field. But as we said, there is not a lot to offer from Vasilis' side.
I think he used Cartesia. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna fuse right now.
But even the Baldrake is a problem here. So I don't know.
Now he's gonna go for Ganguignol, probably. Yeah, it is the Ganguignol. And then the effect is declared. Roy is thinking a bit,
Yeah.
but he decided to let it go through. It's gonna be really hard for Vasilis. He's not allowed to do any mistake in this situation.
We don't know Vasilis' set card, right?
We don't.
No.
But it better be a great card.
Yeah.
And now he's sending to grave the Saronir.
Probably Retribution. Yeah, makes sense. There it is. Unfortunately, though, we didn't have access to Branded Fusion during the previous turn, and yeah.
Yeah, Branded Fusion to 1 is kind of a big deal. The fact that it is limited.
Yeah, I mean, it's also one of the main reasons why the deck was insanely good. And of course, like, you lose some speed. Of course, like, you can make it as consistent as possible, because still you have, you know, the Cartesia, and you have the Quem, you have the Nadir Servants, as we saw before, and I think I'm more concerned about all the hand traps plus the Bestials that are in the current format, to be fair. And I think I think it's still incredible that Vasilis is sitting with this record here, and I really hope that we may
Angel, yeah.
manage to see some combos.
We go for
Yeah.
Chaos Angel, which is pretty good. Let's see if he... Okay, no, doesn't
He's
go
gonna
for the
try.
set. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna try to banish the monster. So he doesn't decide to get rid of the set card.
Mm-hmm.
The set
Oh, it
card,
was a
which is
droplet.
Droplet. It was a great card.
Yeah.
It was a great card.
It was there. I think, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think Roy tried, and especially because he may feel that he could seal the game just in this turn. So I think just said, okay, let me just give it a try, and hopefully it works. So if Vasilis doesn't have anything else here, and Roy has, for example, a Ryzeal, it's tough. He has the Jersvorm as well, so I think it's just a matter of making some calculation here and understanding whether you can push enough damage.
I think he can. I think he may just go for game here. He has the ability to go through the Finsmith stuff, probably. And right now, he's making some calculations.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell he's debating because he may, yeah, okay, he's going for the engraver. I think it makes sense because, like, your opponent is on Despian, and as you mentioned before, it's quite unlikely that he's playing hand traps just because of a matter of consistency.
Yeah.
So, and that is something. He's now activating the Rain Broom in the graveyard, which allows him to special summon back the Fallen Valbaz, and then he's going to be able to fuse with a monster from his opponent's field.
Yeah, and this is huge because as Droplet got rid of his own monster, now the Bestial cannot be used by Roy. The Bestial was keeping that in check by having no monsters on the field. You know, this is great. I mean, it seems like he skipped a step. Yeah, he already summoned
the Proskinian.
And now he's...
This is great because basically it allows you to bring it on your own field if you feel like. So it's quite of a card that we don't really... I think we haven't seen this card quite often. Yeah, secret effect I would call it, yeah, but...
And all of a sudden, we see that Vasilis' field is way more impressive.
Yeah, because now basically here Roy is forced to use his own Druid's Worm on the Chaos Angel to prevent Vasilis basically to special summon the Chaos Angel. And maybe this is something that he was not quite expecting, but the Mirror Jet is there, so...
We talked about it. It's such a great card. Especially because your opponent has to do so much to get rid of it.
Yeah. And although all the interruptions from Roy's side of the field, Vasilis still managed somehow to navigate throughout all of this. And then let's see if Roy has anything else. Maybe a Ryzeal card.
I think he has one. It might be the ice. Yeah, it is. He's getting rid of the Druid's Worm to special summon the ice. Of course, he's not gonna get the effect because it was not normal summon, but he's gonna get rid of the Proskinian with the Druid's Worm in the graveyard.
Oh. And the
And
X.
there it is.
Special
Wow.
summoning X. What a hand right there.
I mean, this was like unbelievably, honestly.
Yeah, it was a perfect
like
hand.
Impermanence, Fuvalos, 2 Bestials, 2 Ryzeals.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And obviously, since we don't really need to negate anything, we can send this new addition from the latest set, Eclipse Twins. What a card it is, giving you know, the Ryzeal, any Ryzeal variants, even an additional layer of interruptions. Yeah.
And now he knows that the road is totally free, so he's gonna add the node and the cross. Everything is set for his victory, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the Mirror Jade lingering effect is not really that useful against Detonator, so even if you forget about it, I mean, it's not gonna be the end of the world.
And now he just keeps continuing. He keeps going and he's gonna go to the Detonator. Detonator is gonna attach the new card, the new addition you just talked about.
Yep.
The Eclipse Twin, which is a great card.
Such a great card. I mean, it does so much. And yeah, I mean, sometimes just that one line of text can really change the, the card. And yeah, it plays around so much. It allows you to basically bring back a Detonator or the Duo Drive. You can do really a lot of...
So it lets you
incredible
add
things.
some interruptions, and it lets you also turn around so many cards a little
Yep.
bit more than before.
And it seems as if we have used cross to negate then the Jade effect. So detaching 2 materials, 1 for protection and 1 for that. Just to keep this Ball Drake around. And yeah, we're gonna get a draw, and I don't know though if was that really necessary, because I think probably negating because we have a search in the end phase with the Albion, right? Wasn't that maybe a little bit better? I don't know, but we'll see.
Might have been, because you have the ability to just protect the detonator. So yeah, I mean, makes sense.
Maybe, but
we'll see what's gonna happen during the next turn, because Vasilis, surprisingly, has another turn.
Yeah, yeah, still there.
And yeah, I think now maybe Roy forgot about it, but hopefully Vasilis doesn't. Yeah, he's gonna be able to activate these Albion.
The High Spirit.
And then, yeah.
The Cartesia.
Yeah, you see.
And the Albion.
Still has a lot of recursion, and that's why like Abyss Dweller is a premium card against this deck, but I mean didn't quite have enough to bring it out.
And it is another card that just is very strong against the deck. So we talked about the Mulcharmies, we talked about the Bestials, we talked about the Dweller, which all are in the meta game, and still Vasilis is right there sitting with a record of 8 wins and 2 losses, which is absolutely amazing.
Indeed.
This is impressive, to be fair, because like after what we saw from Roy, Vasilis is still hanging in there, and I think this duel is far from over.
Yeah, and it was banishment, I believe, that was set.
Totally.
So yeah, now it's looking still promising, because only 1 material obviously is the Eclipse Twins.
So it's a little bit more then. But Vasilis is gonna have his own turn, and it looks very promising for him. I mean, he has some cards. He has 3 cards in hand, and he's gonna start right now with the banishment. And that's one of the strengths of the branded deck.
Yeah, we didn't negate it. Okay, so obviously now we cannot push forward. Yeah, that's it. Wow.
That is something. Like, that duel, that first game was amazing. I didn't expect that. At first, I thought that literally the brand player was gonna just crumble under everything that the Finsmith Ryzeal threw at him.
No, I mean, it was unbelievable, because like with Roy's hand, I mean, he was able to stop his opponent plays. He had to overextend, like for the also with 2 Ryzeals.
Yeah,
it was not enough. So
I mean, obviously it's a deck that has been out for a lot, but has fallen off in popularity quite a bit. And maybe this, you know, shows also the reason why it's doing so well. Because you are obviously preparing heavily for Ryzeal, Malice, and you know, the top decks, but your opponent has probably tested against those, not quite against branded. And I think this showed a little bit at the end of the game, because it probably still would have been close, but given the end that was drawn by Roy, I don't know. I really think like that cross should have been saved for Albion, because without that banishment, I think we only had, you know, Cartesia, the Branded and High Spirits, maybe not quite enough to, I mean, at least not to push for a game. So I don't know. I mean, can't really blame him, but now the important thing is to keep your focus. You know, understand we have seen multiple comebacks on stream all weekend long, and yeah, you really want to stay focused, because you know, if you lose this one, unfortunately, you are knocked off the top 64. Still a great result, of course, but you really want to stay in this as long as you can. So,
but it can be really heartbreaking right now for the Ryzeal Finsmith player, because he had one of the best hands that he could even hope for, and still he lost that game. So he has to refocus, as you just said, and it might be hard. It might be hard, because the first game is gonna stick into his head, and it's tough. It's a tough spot.
Totally agree, but unfortunately it's something we see from time to time, which is a bit of a paradox, but when you draw extremely well. Sometimes it's actually harder to win than when you draw, you know, kind of an average hand, because you tend to relax a little bit. You probably are like, okay, I just won this game. I can do whatever I want, and
all of a sudden, poof.
And that's, you know, the beauty of Yu-Gi-Oh! Just a single move sometimes can cost you the duel. But hopefully, Roy, now that he's going first, will be able to keep his focus and make some Ryzeal combos. Our duelists are ready. Let's jump back into action. So, what do you think is the plan now that he knows he's up against Branded? John, what?
I mean, the plan is literally the same one as during the first game, which is draw the same cards. I mean, the bestials, you need the bestials, of course, and you need to set up an incredible field, because we know that Branded has a strong engine and is able to break field really easily with his own engine. The problem is that we saw that Vasilis has some really threatening cards. The droplet, of course, and there is also the triple tactics first and the talent that is supposed to be played in Branded. So for Roy, it's a really tough spot, because you don't know what you're gonna have to face. But for now, he's going with the Finsmith stuff, which is of course a great stuff. Yeah. And then he's probably gonna go to the Ryzeals.
Yeah, we do not see Fuvalos from Vasilis, so that's great news for Roy. The question is, most likely, is he gonna try and force going for a Dweller opening turn 1?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Dweller is a great card from the extra deck of Roy to face Branded, of course, because a lot of effects activate in the graveyard. You know that. So yeah, he's gonna go for that and probably protect everything with the Ryzeal Cross. But is it gonna be enough? We're gonna see that during Vasilis' turn.
But we do have Sword, so we opened pretty well.
It might be interesting to see if Roy has some strong going first cards, because of course there are some strong power cards like Droplet, but you can negate them using some cards like Solemn Judgment.
Yeah. He plays all of them, both the Judgments and the Strike, which is interesting because sometimes you either play that or the other one, but he's just playing
he's going all out. He's going all out on them, and I can understand, because those cards are really powerful. They just say no. Nope.
Yep. Well, 6
Let's
Solemns.
see if he has some of them in the hand.
But Strike is a very good card against Branded, to be fair. And Judgment on the other side is risky, because you know, like paying half of your life points against such a deck, it can be scary.
You'd better stop the deck, otherwise it might be hard for you to survive.
There's one card which I may be afraid of if I were Roy, which is Super Polymerization, which is in Vasilis' side deck. True. And I really want to see how you can stop them, but it will be interesting to see that coming, to be fair. But for the time being, let's just enjoy Roy doing some combo here, and let's see the deck in action.
We see the twins once more. Another reason, you know, why obviously going first, it has given, you know, even more of, you know, the Detonator is obviously a great card for going in general, and when you can send the Aggregator going second, that was great, but going first, it was missing, you know, another target, and yeah, again, we'll see. Probably this resolves. Yeah, I don't think there is anything that stops it from Vasilis' deck.
No.
We've mentioned it. It's not really a deck that can afford to use hand traps. You need all of your combo pieces in hand.
So basically, if you're Roy, you're just expecting to face 2 cards, the Bestials, of course, and also the Mulch Armies. And if there was not any of them for now, he can just be relaxed and do his combos, basically. Now he's going for the cross. I might think that maybe Dweller is a better card than Detonator in this matchup. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah, obviously. If you can get both, it's really nice, of course. But yeah, I do agree. Overall, Especially now that there is only one, branded fusion, as you have mentioned. The graveyard is as important as it has ever been, so why not?
He might prioritize that over the detonator, but let's see if he can get both, which would be amazing for him.
Yeah.
And I think Ryzeal is quite good as well this time around. I mean,
Yeah, it's an interesting start, I gotta say. Like the sequence of plays that he has gone for is not
He's going
really
for the detonator.
straightforward.
And Vasilis is just enjoying his time. Oh,
can you see a reason why he summoned the detonator in defense?
I don't really know.
Yeah, you see it from time to time. I guess Queritis could be one of them, because it turns it to 0 and then maybe you can attack over it with multiple monsters, but I mean,
You're right.
maybe.
And sixth card, is that a breath?
Yeah. They
Oh,
always
okay.
draw well.
Wow. That's a great card to start things off.
Well, Lightning Storm is a very good card, and here, okay, gets rid of, let's see, what was
Gets
it?
rid of
An
both.
impermanence.
It wasn't a judgment.
It was
Yeah.
an impermanence, but I think Vasilis' hand is
That's a-
insane, because
yeah.
I think he has Branded Fusion plus Thrust,
Oof.
plus, I think it's 4 spells. Okay,
I mean,
Deployment is huge, yeah. I mean, obviously Detonator works perfectly against, Albas. You can't really go for that line, but
to be fair, Roy had a perfect hand during the last game,
Yeah.
so
they need to
It's fair,
compensate,
it's
right?
fair.
yeah, totally.
I agree, it's fair.
And now we're going for the opening, branded opening.
Yeah, because we chained the Lacrima and then we're gonna chain the opening, and yeah, the chain finally resolves. So let's see what he goes for. Could be just Cartesia then, I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Makes sense. And now the good thing is obviously the opening is a layer of protection against the detonator later on for the fusions.
I mean, Vasilis has everything. I wouldn't feel great if I were worried right now.
So in a new chain, let's see, we're gonna use the Aluber. And
Oh, the Veiler.
Oh.
but
Yeah.
the Veiler, yeah, I mean, I guess can work out, kinda. Yeah, in this case it does, because even if you go for the Cartesia, then they can detonator. Well,
Yeah. He accepted it, I guess.
yeah, seems like he did. And then, oh no,
Finally, he changed his mind, and as you mentioned right before, he's gonna chain the
Yeah.
detonator, targeting the Cartesia.
makes a lot of sense. Well spotted by Roy, who finally gets to bring back this Desiree. And even though this looked really good, it's now tough.
And there it goes, the triple tactic thrust.
So the last card in hand, according to you, is a branded fusion.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, it is.
we're gonna see it, because we do negate the thrust, and then
And
we
then-
have the last card being the branded fusion.
It's gonna be heartbreaking right
Wow.
now. This is the branded fusion, and he's laughing.
Yeah, you can see Roy laughing. What a hand.
He didn't expect this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And they're both smiling, and Roy knows that, I mean, nothing that he could do about this.
No, the difference maker was really the Lightning Storm, I gotta say, because it was a 2-for-1 in terms of interruptions. And let's see if this is enough, though. It's still not that easy to break this field.
Yeah, but he has the tools, so now let's see what he does with it. He's sending the Albas and the
Yeah.
Lubellion.
Yeah, this is huge. Wow. Yeah, he's gonna take have a think and goes for the detonator. As we have mentioned, there is the opening
In the grave.
yeah, which can protect the fusions if he wants, but he must be thinking whether he needs that layer of protection afterwards for another fusion. You don't really care too much.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Detonator doesn't accomplish too much right
Yeah.
there.
You were definitely spot on in saying that with a different line of plays, maybe we could have seen an Abyss Dweller, and that probably would have hurt more.
Especially considering the fact that now that we know Vasilis' hand, he didn't have access to these Forbidden Droplets, so
Yep.
he wouldn't have been able to stop that, which probably would have given Royce the game, or maybe have put it in a really good spot. But now, here is the Mirror Jade.
Yeah, we just go for Mirror Jade, nothing too fancy.
I mean, it is shiny.
Yeah. Okay, this works out decently, and this is a good spot, I think, from Roy, who forgo the protection effect in order to then trigger the Eclipse. Yep.
And now he brings back the Detonator, who's going to attach one more card, one more material.
We can prevent this, and we do. We chain the Mirror Jade.
Sending the Titanclad.
Oh no, we cannot, obviously, because we are in the damage step still. Yeah.
True that.
So we gotta wait at least for it to resolve, and then we are gonna be able to use it. Yeah. Yep. But now the new Detonator can chain, and it seems like it targeted the Mirror Jade, which can be protected.
By the opening in the graveyard, which will be done right now by Vasilis.
He's probably asking if he can use the Detonator, but that's not, you know,
You don't
activated
declare
effect.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, not quite possible. All right, now it's quite a simplified game state, and
Oh, he's got the Bestial Magnum
wow.
with every single time.
I mean, you have these kind of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel like forever. They are a one-off or like the two-offs.
And you keep seeing them.
Yeah, and they really seem like a 10-off, which are always there. That is the case for this Magnamut.
Because in this specific matchup, Magnamut is
It's absolutely
great.
amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we get back this Cartesia, but that's the last card that we have in hand, and Roy finally once more, just like in game one, in a really good position. Let's see if he can convert this time into a win.
He's gonna start his turn by summoning the Sword Ryzeal. And there is no answer from Vasilis' side. Of course, the Mirror Jade has already been activated during the past turn, so he's not gonna be able to activate it this turn.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna equip the sequence and go further in his turn. 11 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, I was about to to revert to that, because if Roy is able to, you know, find a way to win, maybe even this turn, it's gonna be a bit of a consideration. And for our, you know, tax advisor out there, we renamed back in the day Masquerade, kind of like the tax, and we could see that card being relevant in game 3.
It might be Burr, but for now, okay.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think, yeah, Vasilis is following your advice.
Yeah, at the same time, I think it's definitely an interesting decision. I feel like if you know you have that advantage, you know, with a proper win condition, you can. I mean, 10 minutes is still enough. You could have waited a little bit more, see, because I mean, not to take anything away from Roy, but you saw in game one that in a very advantageous position, he was then a little nervous, maybe on camera, and but I mean, it is what it is. The situation was obviously quite dominating, and the score is tied. So.
What a duel right now. We saw from both players, they had such great hands. And when Roy had a great hand, he managed to lose. And right after, his opponent had such a great hand. This Branded Fusion, last card in hand, activating that. And the laugh on the face of Roy. But after that, he managed to just get the victory. Now it's going to be a decisive game because they cannot lose if they want to go to the top cut. So right now, we're going to have the branded player probably going to be in the driver's seat because he's going to go first. He has a lot of tools to take the victory. Of course, you talked about the Masquerade, but there are also some other tools that can just manage to get down Roy. So Roy is going to have to face a really hard field, I guess. It's going to be 10 minutes. That will be absolutely amazing, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you can feel the tension already. I mean, only 2 more rounds of Swiss, including this one, are remaining, and only top 64 out of nearly 2,500 players can advance, which is unbelievable. And it's going to be the best of the best from all over the world. Only one of them can advance, though. So, as they are finalizing their decks, let's find out who will be the winner of round 11. Here they are, and around 8.5 minutes remain.
And remember, the branded combos can take a while, so if he manages to just set a Masquerade on the field, then Roy might be in a really difficult spot. So,
and we open just like in game 1 with this Spirits. Is there gonna be anything? Doesn't seem like it from Roy. I mean, Bestials have been the key of this entire match, so obviously he's hoping to draw some more this decisive game.
will he see his best friend, Magnamut? That's the question.
3 out of 3, let's see.
That would be great.
Oh, but that's
Wow,
a pretty cool interaction. We do have the Cartesian line, and now this Aluber to play around Impermanence and Veiler. Really well played by Vasilis, and it resolves. Could we see finally
The Branded Fusion wasn't in hand this time, but he gets to add it to his hand, and he's activating this card. It resolves.
Wow.
This is huge, because I mean, it may give him a lot of advantage, and with this Branded Fusion resolving, honestly, we may see a lot. Yeah.
If you have ever played the Branded, you know the feeling when you don't get Ash Blossom on this card. Everything just feels so much smoother, and I guess we'll have the first check for a Bestial here, potentially, if we want to preventively hit.
But there is none.
Nope, for now. So let's see if maybe this Lubellion... There is a thing from Roy. No, not quite. So this is so great. What does he play as target? Maybe Beast or...
I think I saw an Impermanence. Yeah,
Okay.
Here it is.
I mean, you take it. I mean, you're fine with this.
And
Oh,
wow.
never mind.
The Nibiru.
Never mind. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Impermanence plus Nibiru.
That is a huge one. How is Vasilis going to react to that? What a game. Pulling off the Nibiru in this decisive moment. And every single monster is going to end up in the graveyard.
But the question is, why did we Impermanence? in the first place? Couldn't we just Nibiru on someone?
It looked cool.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I don't ask the question.
This is the combo.
I mean, 'cause
Impermanence plus
I
Nibiru.
know, Impermanence plus Nibiru beats everything in this specific
It
case.
just prevent everything.
I mean,
so.
you could just Nibiru, but okay, we'll do it. I mean, it is true that you cannot Impermanence anymore once Nibiru is there, but I don't know. Whatever, not asking questions, but if there is one card to, you know, stay in this, it was for sure the Nadir, so that's a great find from Vasilis. Absolutely great find. And this token has some pretty heavyweight competition, I think. Okay. But maybe it will be gone soon. Let's see.
It feels pretty good to have a card to send on Maximus, I
Yeah,
think. The
absolutely.
DSRA.
Yeah, this is pretty much it. So even though we opened extremely well, the Nibiru was pretty much enough. And now 4.5 minutes remain, and all we have are a couple of searches now in the end phase.
And of course, the time is really important there because it might get on the nerves of both players. I think this is really hard when you are in that position because you have to stay focused on the time, of course, and you know that you don't have the right to do any mistake. So now, almost 4 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, it's tough. Is it banishment again? I can't.
Yeah, I think it took the banishment. Yeah.
Okay. And we also set up the broom once more. So.
And
Nice.
now he passes his turn to Roy, and he doesn't have any Masquerade on the board. The field is only with this token.
Yeah, not quite. So technically there is a chance that this also ends in a draw.
Maybe the case. Maybe the case.
Which, to be fair, I think it's an alright result.
Oh, you know what? There's a side card which we haven't considered though.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right.
I haven't seen this.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about this.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But I mean, it still needs to find a way to play the game. So if we save, you know, it depends with what we're gonna do with the banishment. But yeah, it's gonna be close. But yeah, as I was saying, even if it ends in a draw, I think there is a good chance that there basically will be on a bubble match because being on 9 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses, it's still enough to make it to the top cut. Probably not everyone will, but I'm pretty sure some definitely are gonna make it. So.
And there is something really important that you mentioned before. You talked about the super polymerization, and we saw that. So it might be a card that is maybe set. We don't know.
Yeah.
We only know
maybe
one
the
of them.
case. Yeah, maybe the case. Yeah. But I'm really curious to see how this evolves because basically with 2 minutes remaining and
Yeah, it's
if
rough.
he goes for the
Oof.
Fiend Smith combo as well, and then with all the interruptions for the branded player.
This, let's
Okay.
see, because we can go into Masquerade like this, right? If it's not
so.
stopped, we do
Yeah.
have a chance, and then it gets quite complicated for Roy.
And remember the infinite impermanence that was used last turn.
Yes.
It would have been great in that spot.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of tension again from Roy, because that impermanence really, as mentioned, was not needed, and we could have used it here.
And here it is, the Masquerade. 1 minute 45 on the clock, and now it is a timer on Roy's head. He's gonna have to face that and to manage to win through that.
Yeah, at least we can get a negation, but we are gonna have to pay some life points first. So,
Is it 600, right?
yeah. But I
He's
think,
writing this down.
yeah, it's gonna be ahead in life. This is gonna be so close, but it could be fun if it's, you know, what's larger than 600? 800.
800.
Oh my! But I mean, there is not. I mean, oh wow, this is gonna be so
I
close.
think it can happen, to be fair.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Wow.
mean,
Yeah, because I think it was a very good spot in not activating the X. Like he only went for the aggregator, so that he would pay only 600, not 12. And yeah, this still gives him a solid chance. And yeah, I think. I guess, is there any way to play around it with the banishment, maybe? To prevent it, we gotta think, because there is a banishment set, we don't know the other set. But we have just entered battle phase, so we are gonna force out and destroy this Cartesia.
He's not playing impermanence as well, so there's no impermanence.
5 seconds remain, so now it's all or never. We are gonna have a whole main phase 2, so there is no need to rush. Time will be called, but as you might have guessed, there is a win condition, which is this Gaga Cowboy somewhere in there. He's just gonna try and figure out if he should force out some negations first, if there is a way that he loses. Because I think the banishment cannot bring back Aluber. It could bring back only like a Despia or a Fusion. Yeah, he cannot bring back that. So it's tough because to fusion someone with Cowboy, you need Albas. So
he's going to try to protect his line, going with the dual drive right now.
I'm thinking, what about what was the name?
Proskinion?
Because Proskinion, no, it's light and dark, but no, it's tough. I don't know. What other targets you could...
And we're going to discover the last card.
Oh, it's the Anchor!
Oh, the Anchor.
Oh, wow. This is a huge one. Can we even get to another one? Ooh.
And they come back, but they come back being level 3, which is a big deal.
Do we have another way to get to a level 4? Roy is kind of shaking his head, but he does have another ice.
I think it all comes down to this, right?
Was that needed?
That's what I was wondering. That was because the Cowboy is right now here.
Yeah, I think he has a plan here, 100%. Yeah. Oh yeah, he does have it. He does have the Mirror Jade.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it is. That's a perfect plan. Wow. Vasilis finds it, gets rid of
he's
Cowboy.
Gonna banish the Cowboy and take the victory right there with his branded deck. What a game it was!
Yeah, that was something else. What a show off from Branded. Wow. I mean, really, this match was something else. It really seems like Day 2 has, even increased the level of competition. We have had 2 amazing matches back to back, all back and forth, all down to game 3. And every time with a chance from both players, especially looking back at game 1, where Roy really seems like he was gonna win the game.
Yeah, like Bestials, Finsmith cards, Ryzeal, everything. Like he had literally everything. He couldn't have dreamt of a better hand.
Yep.
But finally, he lost it against the branded player who played really well his hand. And second game, same thing. The branded player, last card, branded fusion, everything. It was literally amazing. And Roy took the game. And all of a sudden, it was all about this game 3. Like 10 minutes on the clock. They had to not lose their temper. But Roy finally, he tried to pull the Cowboy. But he had a plan. The branded player was there with the branded banishment, the Mirror Jade, and he took it all.
No, I mean, it was very well played by Vasilis, honestly, and I think the branded deck is not easy to be piloted in general.
Not at all.
And especially because of all the entrances that are playing during this weekend, and no cross-act designator, no Cold by the Grave, nothing.
He wasn't afraid of anything.
Yeah. You just go all in, and I think he showed us how powerful the deck is. And honestly, I will be scared to face him last round. So, it's like with X2 record, almost there. So he needs a draw or a win.
Pretty much. But yeah, I mean, gotta give kudos to them. Regardless, they are not too experienced at the future match table, but they gave us a show to remember. But at the same time, some of the nerves showed up, as you would expect, from both players. I gotta say, if it was true for game 1, it was, even a more obvious for game 3, as there were multiple situations that I don't know if they would have changed the game completely, but again, the impermanence at the start maybe was, I don't know, maybe it was not enough, but I mean, you see impermanence plus Nibiru, you usually think that's gonna break any field. In this specific case, Nibiru was enough on his own. So, I don't know, maybe with that impermanence in hand, we could have tried to stop an additional fusion, an additional line of interruption. So, that could have been a good one. But, obviously, we want to thank you guys for being with us for round 11. It really was a pleasure. But, given that this match dragged on a little bit too long, we are going to be skipping the winner's interview for this round. But we are going to go back to Ed, because then we are waiting for a reveal yet again. So, let's go to Ed.